So I'm trying my level best.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. To brief my introduction. My name is Yank Vashne. I am from Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, which is basically famous for the Tala and AMU campus. I completed my articleship from Raj and Associate firm. In talking about my articleship, I had a great exposure in statutory audit. In statutory audit, I have done walk through test of control, test of detail, analytical process, and audit of the balance sheet and P&L item. In audit of the balance sheet of P&L item, I have done audit of trade receiver, trade payable, employee benefit expenses, audit of fixed asset, and I also help my senior to Caro reporting and Schedule 3 disclosure. Apart from this, I have a little bit exposure in direct taxation and internal audit. And I want to join your company because EY GTEC is my the dream company, and statutory profile is a profile through which I am in this company. So this is all about me. Now, please do let me know anything else from you that you want to know about me. Thank you, sir.
What was your observations during the audit?
Uh, my personal observations, sir.
Yes.
So I have found one fraud case during my articleship, sir.
Yes.
So I found one fraud case during my articleship. That was my observation. Can I elaborate this, sir?
Sure.
Sir, during my articleship, so there was a one client who run their hotel, and they give the financial statement to our bosses for the examination. That in the examination, we saw that the revenue has been increases, and the client has give the reason that we have extend our hotel business in their new area. That's why our revenue has been increasing, and proportionally expense also increases. But when we started audit of the financial statement, we saw that the everything has been increased or decreased. One expense has not been increased. These are the electricity bill. And when we told this that electricity bill has not been increased to our bosses, then our principal has asked to the client to submit the electricity bill regarding their additional prices, but client has not submitted that, hesitate to submit the electricity bill. Then our boss has direct to me to visit their place and check that there has been hotel or not in the additional place or not. Then I visit their place and I saw that there is no hotel run on that place, only the vacant plot is there. So this is the fraud that the client has done, and this was the my great achievement also that I have done during my articleship, and this has been appreciated by my our boss in the firm.
Okay. I wanted to know like what is the difference between India's 115 and AS9?
So basically, India's 115 were introduced because uh, in India's 115 there is a five-step model, but AS9 does not uh, any method. In India's 115, they consider variable consideration and time value of money, but AS9 does not consider it. In India's 115, revenue has been recognized on when performance obligation regarding the work has been completed, but AS9 revenue has been recognized on when risks and reward related to the product has been transferred. And in in India's 115, revenue has been recognized on at a point of time or over the point of time, but in AS9 the revenue has been recognized on the basis of the when risks and reward related to the product has been transferred.
What is audit amendments in the audit report?
There are basically two amendment in audit report. The one was the dividend related amendment, and another was another one is the if any company has uh, developed a software for maintain the books and books of account, then the software has a feature of the audit trail also.
What is the difference between EMP paragraph and OMP paragraph?
So basically, EOM and OM paragraph are come in SA 705, but the major difference between both of them that EOM paragraph contain the paragraph which already present in the financial statement, but OM paragraph contain the matter which does not present in the financial statement.
What is the example of an OMP paragraph?
So OM paragraph that if there is material, if there just like, for example, that if there is litigation case pending against the company, so the company has been disclosed this matter in the financial statement. So auditor also report this matter in EOM paragraph. But in OM paragraph, the auditor has show that the director entity, internal control present in the environment, and so on.
Could you please repeat once OMP paragraph example?
So OM paragraph, basically OM paragraph deal with the matter that does not present in the financial statement, like director integrity, internal control present over the financial statement, and
Please
this is.
one cross check this answer. Okay, key audit matter.
So keyword matter are those matter that in the in the auditor professional judgment were the most important, and the auditor considered that they are also useful for the user for the financial statement.
What are the fraud risk factors?
So fraud risk factor basically are three types. Basically four type: teaming and leading, and another one is manipulation of record, and another one is sorry, sir, I have remember only two at that time.
What is teaming and leading?
So teaming leading basically the person who is authorized to receive the cash, they have used the cash for the personal purpose and deferment and submit the balance after few months, after few period of time.
How do you do the revenue cutoff?
So process.
Yes.
mm, First of all, sir, we have to take the invoices of the last 15 days, and on the basis of the invoice, first of all we have to uh, take the invoices of the last 15 days, and also take the invoices of the after 15 days of after on 31st March, and we have to check that the revenue, what are the revenue policy, recognized revenue policy of the company. And after that we have to check that the invoices related to the sale of goods has been delivered to the customer or not. And also we have to inquiry about the sales return have been made after 31st March.
What will you do if the physical inventory verification is not possible on the uh, 31st March?
So we have to do alternative procedure, like we have to check inventory on online meeting, and we have to take a help of another auditor who are present at that place at that time. And also we have to check, we have to uh, follow rollback procedure.
What is rollback?
So rollback basically to compute the inventory on to compute the inventory on 31st March. It is basically that we have to add back the sale and decrease the invoices on the inventory that is present on the actual date of verification the auditor has done.
Tell me one reason why should we hire you?
So I'm a very passionate person, and I am very quick learner to capture new thing in our mind. And the statutory audit is the profile that I have learned, and I have do my articleship in statutory audit profile, so that I think that we are the right person for this job, and you for the job, and you also not invest so much time on me for guiding me to how to work on the statutory audit profile. That's why I think I am the right person for the job.
Why state audit you want to join? What is the main
So
reason?
uh, basically we have to practically apply the concept that we have captured in our CA course, that from costing to taxation and FR to audit, FR to law. And statutory is basically the package of the everything where we have applied all the concept that we studied through. And one more reason that statutory has been only done by the CA, So that's why I also love to work on statutory profile only.
What is the definition of lease as per Ind AS 116?
So lease is basically a contract where the lessor has convey the right of the where lessor has convey the right of the asset to the lessee for the use in exchange of the consideration.
Okay. What is the identifiable asset?
So basically, identifiable asset are the asset where lessee has used the asset by their own, and they have consumed all the economic benefit related to the asset, and where the asset and here the supplier does not have the substantive substitution right.
When you should recognize amortized cost, in which case, as per Ind AS 109.
So didn't hear your question, sir. Please repeat again, sir.
When you will recognize as an amortized cost as per Ind AS 109.
Sorry, sir. I do not remember this, sir. But I definitely work on this.
How will you account for derivatives?
Mm, we account derivative. So you asked regarding some method.
Yes. How will you recognize derivatives?
We recognize derivative in sir in P&L account, sir.
BTPL, right? Uh,
Yes, sir.
why Ind AS 116 was introduced?
So 116 has been introduced to uh, basically India's 116 has been introduced to reduce the to loophole that has been there in India's 7, because in old India's the upwelling all the lessee has opt for the operating lease, and they did not want to recognize the finance lease, and that's why they have recognized the lease rental as an expense to the P&L, and nobody recognized the asset in the balance sheet. Basically is a transfer of the off balance item into the on balance sheet.
The definition of an agent as per Ind AS 115.
So agent 150 agent has any person who is not authorized to fulfill the contract, who is not authorized to set transfer price, who is not to bear the inventory risk.
What is the P2P risk?
Uh, so P2P risk basically divided in split of split of invoices, sir.
Say suppose a business has some electrical items and which has
Mhm.
got expired. Okay. How will you record those items in inventory? Electric items which are expired, okay. How will you do the accounting for those?
Sir, if the item has been recognized, expired, then uh, uh, re- then we have reduced the value from the closing stock of the inventory as a scrap.
You'll write off them.
So we have write off as scrap.
At what value?
So at realizable value, sir.
What is realizable value?
So realizable value, anything which can be realized from the sale of the product in the market, sir. Basically, sir, sir, scrap value is less than the original value of the product, sir.
What is an example of a deferred tax asset?
Mhm. Sorry, sir, I don't remember this, sir.
Deferred tax liability.
So deferred tax liability is a liability which increases taxable income in future, sir.
Example.
Sir, example, sir, um, or section 43B of income tax, sir, or preliminary expenses,
Will that increase the deferred tax liability? It's always the case, or deferred tax asset?
Oh, sir, please repeat again, sir.
Will Section 43 items will create deferred tax asset or liability?
So it increases the deferred tax liability, sir.
Once you have to check this answer, what are the indicators which you will assess, okay, which will tell you that there is a threat to a going concern?
Uh, if it is if it is any litigation on the entity which have an adverse case on the entity, so it has a threat on the entity. Sir, or another one is in COVID-19, sir. In COVID-19, sir, all business has been shut down, so it a major threat on the company going concern, sir. Basically on the person who is in renting business, the tenant has not given their rent properly on time, so it's basically, sir, great impact on the business of the person who give their property on land, sir.
What is Incoterms?
So incoterm basically is a term which define their roles and responsibility between the buyer and seller, sir.
Example.
So examples are that when the importer of the person has import the goods from the outside the country, the Ecoterm has been defined that the who pay the freight of the product, who is liable for the insurance. So this has been clarified in Ecoterm.
We check the unrecorded liability.
What, sir?
How will you check unrecorded liability?
How I will check on liability? So sir, I don't know, sir, but I definitely work on this.
How will you check payroll?
For the payroll, we have to take, first of all we have to take the uh, employee registered from the management, and then we have to reconcile the journal entry, trial balance, and balance sheet
Reconcile.
reconcile. And after that we have to check that who are the new joining in the firm and who are the uh, resigned from the organization. And after that we have to check that the person who received the salary according to their attendance register. And if and and after that we have to check the total balance shown in the payroll register will be same, will be reconciled with the expense book in the P&L account. And after that we have to check that the company has been follow India 19 or not, sir. If there any And after that we have to check that if there any disclosure requirement in Windows 19 the company has follow or not.
What is projected unit credit method?
So projected,
Unit credit method.
sir, I don't know, sir.
How will you check the gratuity and leave encashment?
So gratuity and leave and engagement basically is it is a statutory liability on the organization, and we have to check that the rules and regulation, the the levy on the organization, that he completed or not. That if leave assessment has been paid to the employee is only basis on their the employee has not taken the leave, then only he is eligible for taking the leave engagement. And for the gratuity we have to check that the employee has been received the gratuity on their work done.
If there are 150 bank accounts and confirmation is not received from any of the bank accounts, what will be the procedures we will apply as an auditor?
Sir, for this we have to ask the management regarding the bank reconciliation, the after the 31st March, if the bank has not given the confirmation, and after that we have to reconcile the reconciliation part the management has been made. and after subsequent, and also check the when the payment has been cleared or when the payment has been received after 31st March. And after that, if the payment has not been clear or the payment has not been received, then we ask the management regarding the follow-up procedure the management has been done to the customer or their creditor. And or also then we have to check the if the payment has not been received from the customer, then the bank, then customer has made a provision regarding the amount balance or not. And if their payment has not been made more than 90 days, then check the company has recognized the revenue on the receivable part of the creditor or not.
Do you have any idea about share-based payment in days?
Sir, no, sir.
Subsequent events.
The basic subsequent event occur after the balance sheet date and before finalization of audit report.
What is written in the standard? What the standard tells about subsequent events?
So basically, definition you asked for me.
The standard what tells in subsequent events?
Sir, I can't remember it right now, sir. But
Which
I'll
is your
work on
favorite
this.
index? Which is your favorite index?
So, I have basically, sir, I have done. I have read about the Indian Amendment 5.
115. Okay. Control transfer over a period of time. What will be the conditions?
So basically, control transfer over a time. There are 5 conditions, sir. There are mainly, sir, 4 conditions. The one was the control has the supplier has worked on the asset which are present on the customer, and the supplier has transferred a service, and the customer has taken the service hasn't been delivered. And another one, the supplier has made the product is basically customized product for the customer. Another one is the the main and most important points are the supplier has a legal right regarding legal right to obtain the payment and that for the work the supplier has worked so far as the work for the pay work.
Example.
So at a point, control over time, like teaching services is a control of transfer, sir. At control of transfer is the best example of teaching service, sir.
In Schedule 3, the non-current assets should be presented as under non-current assets, property, plant and equipment, and intangible assets. Okay. There has been some amendment in relation to this. What is that amendment? Non-current asset is now presented a non-current asset, property, plant, equipment, and intangible asset. What is the amendment in this?
Sorry, sir, I don't know remember.
Security deposit. What is the amendment in security deposit in Schedule 3?
So I don't know, sir.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Uh, so I want to see. I want to become the most responsible person in the organization for which we have to give our future time in the future period, sir.
What is test of controls?
So test of control basically is the in test of control, the auditor basically check that the control the management has implemented has worked efficiently or not. It is basically the management done to prevent and detect the material misstatement if occur uh, in the if occur during the finance. It is basically the control the management has made to prevent and detect the medical misstatement.
What two major elements in control testing?
What, sir?
Two major elements in control testing.
So operating effectiveness and design and implementation.
How will you check design?
The design basically based on the nature and size of the business, sir.
What will check in design?
Uh,
What will you do to check whether the design is properly implemented?
So we have, first of all we have to check that the design the management has implemented is suitable for the firm organization or not. And we have to check that the design the person who authorized to design the internal control is capable for the design implementation or not.
What will you do to check whether there can be a possible fraud in an organization? How can you detect the frauds it can happen in an organization?
Uh, so for the professional skeptical mindset, we have to detect the fraud.
So what will be the thing that you will be taking into consideration if you think that there can be a possible fraud in an organization? So what can you check if there is no
So first
fraud?
of all, if there is related party transaction, so
Mhm.
there are chance of the fraud, and if there is a uh, unusual transaction that does not happen in past, that is also lead uh, to lead to fraud chance.
What are your hobbies?
Uh, I love making some cooking, sir, for their family.
Cooking you like? Okay. Anything else?
Uh, I play cricket, sir.
Cricket. How do you check external confirmation for in case of banks? What is the procedure of taking external confirmation?
So basically, we have to draft the letter for the confirmation to the bank, sir.
What will be the procedure?
So we have to confirm. We have to take direct confirmation from the bank, sir. We have not not take the help of the client to to take the confirmation from the bank, sir. Because
How
in
will you do
Satyam
that?
case,
How will you
because in,
do that? How will you take the direct confirmation? What will be the process?
by coordinating the bank official,
How? How will you coordinate?
we have to. Uh, Sorry, sir, I don't remember.
Through mail you will coordinate, right? Okay.
Okay, okay.
Through
Mail.
mail you will coordinate. Um, in the daters case, okay, when you're doing the confirmation, you're taking the confirmation from daters. What will you do? Will you do sampling or will you not?
So it depend on the data amounts and nature, data amounts and the who was the data. It is a related party or not, sir.
What will be the nature of doing the sampling in the case of when you take the confirmation of daters? What are the parameters you will keep in mind while doing the sampling?
Uh, First of all, we have to first of all we have to mindset of regarding the materiality that has set in the planning stage, and after that, if there is unusual transaction that's shown in the analytical analysis, then this is also major term for the sampling, and if they are related party transaction also so consider in the sampling.
Materiality, you said, okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a concept? You know what is performance materiality?
Sir, I know about the performance analytic. Can I explain this, sir?
Yes.
So performance materiality, sir, is basically the amount set by the auditor, so that the probability of the undeducted material misstatement cannot reach the materiality level that auditor has been set.
Why do we calculate?
So it has been calculated to the safe and side of the auditor, because if if undeducted misstatement increases, then we have to inform the management regarding correctness about the statement, if and also give the uh, regarding recommendation that how they correct the mistake. Like we have to propose the regarding journal entry, they have to pass and classification of accounts. And if the management has done the work in the right manner that we have to recommend, then the auditor has issue clean report. Otherwise, the auditor has considered this misstatement in audit report at the time in audit report.
It was not clarified, okay? I did not get it. Please repeat it. Why do we
What's
calculate performance? Why do we calculate performance materiality?
So we have to calculate performance penalty to the safe and side for the auditor if because if the misstatement has been if any misstatement has been increases upon PM, then we we told the management regarding the misstatement find and ask and recommend the management to correct this misstatement, and also give the procedure how they correct this misstatement. They have to pass and classify the account. And if the management do the everything that the auditor has been told, then the auditor has been issued clean report. Otherwise, this thing has to be considered uh, in considered the by the auditor at the time of issue of audit report.
You said ki we calculate these to be on a safer side. What do you mean by that?
uh, because sir if performance liability has been increase and they breach the overall materiality level, then the auditor has to work again, and it leads to be time consuming and costly for the auditor.
Why do we calculate overall materiality?
So overall materiality basically the benchmark which is basically depend on the nature and size of the organization. Basically benchmark depend on the total asset
Why do
total
we
asset
calculate
total.
overall materiality? My question is, why do we calculate overall materiality?
uh, we calculate the overall materiality to uh, sorry sir, I can't remember this right now, sir.
Okay. What is the key risk in any business? What are the key risks in any business?
So key risk financial risk or business risk, sir.
Explain.
Business risk, sir, regarding the business, if the cash flow are not sufficient to meet their liability, is a business risk. And financial risk, sir, if you have to borrow money from the bank and unable to pay it, so it leaves a burden on the organization, so it is a financial risk.
Are you open to traveling?
uh, I am open to traveling to anywhere, but I had not got the opportunity to travel to somewhere where I got to uh, enjoy and to keep up with some memory time.
We are not making you enjoy. I am saying, are you open to traveling? We have clients everywhere. Okay, so most of the times you will have to be on the flight or the train in 30
So
days
it
or
my
in
pleasure.
15 days.
So it
We
is
need
my
to
pleasure
travel a lot.
to
Yeah.
it my pleasure to open to
We are not
everywhere.
sending you traveling for enjoyment or doing client work. Okay. And how hard can you work? Okay. How many hours you can work in a day effectively?
Sir, so for CA, sir, hour does not matter, sir, because CA work all day and night. In my articleship, I have work in the deadline. That time, I have worked in my articleship in after 10 o'clock, because we have to file ITR and have to submit a tax audit report and statutory audit report. So this is not for the new for the CA, sir. Working. Uh,
What are the
uh,
things you do to reduce the stress and the burnout? What things you do to reduce the stress and burnout?
so I I start morning walking, sir, to reduce our stress.
Morning work you do. I think you have to do a lot of morning work out here because the stress will be very high. Morning 9 to like it will go up to 2 p.m. also. You know what is limited review?
So limited review basically, sir, done for is for the listed company. This has been listed company, sir, or listed company has
Why
been.
do we do it?
So in depth, I have no knowledge about this, sir. I have knowledge that it is about the listed company, sir.
You have to improve on this. Yes. I think you have good amount of knowledge. I wanted to know two strengths from your side and two weakness from your side.
Sir, I have a team spirit and leadership quality, and I have a weakness. Everybody has a weakness. I have a weakness regarding, sir, that in my during my articleship dates that I have very anonymous to handle, sir, to handle client and to talk with them. It's my weakness. And another one is to handle to handle work under pressure, sir.
You cannot handle the work pressure.
So I can handle the work. It is my weakness during my articleship because I am not aware about that how they'll handle the work pressure. But it was but this this weakness has been resolved in second or third year of articleship, sir.
The current weakness. I want to know the current weakness of yours, not of your
So frankly
articleship.
speaking, frankly speaking, I have not any current weakness. I have not any weakness currently, but everyone has some weakness. So they improve day by day, and my current weakness has no at that time, sir.
Don't you think there might be some areas to improve?
Yes, sir. I have one area we have to improve that we that personality development, sir.
Personality development. What what in personality development you think that you can improve upon?
Uh, so dressing sense, sir. We have to improve it, sir.
Yes, you need improvement. I can see. Yes, I think in the interview, I think you are able to do fairly well. I think with time you'll learn, understand better. My HR will tell you. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir. What about your learning experience in, sir, EY GDS?
Uh, the experience has been good out here. Initially, you will face little difficult out here because of the work pressure. And but if you are hardworking and you can cooperate well, and you said you have team spirit, maybe yeah, you can survive out here. You need it will be difficult in the initial time, but after a point of years, if you stay here, be patient, yeah, then things will be okay for you, and learning will be good out here, and good client exposure you will get. So, okay, I think it was good, and I think this interview will also help you. Okay, thank you so much. And my teacher will tell you about the result. Okay, if there is another result, then it will be another round of interview with the partner or director. The manager will tell you about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.